It's Jersey Shore Spotlight here with WBNJ, and this is our annual opportunity to get our geek on. I'm joined by Bob Vossler from the Ocean County Library, and Bob, I'm going to ask you to introduce our lovely guest today.
Our lovely guests are Teresa Foster from the Barnegat branch and Jamie Dunn. They also are the chair and co-chair of our Fan Nation committee. Fantastic.
Well, it's no secret. We've talked this a couple times, just you and I, either on the phone or in the studio radio. So this is the first time we get to actually, totally geek out and,
We're all wearing the appropriate attire?
I think we are in the appropriate attire for the Geek Extravaganza, as it's called. So tell me about your big event.
It's our third annual Fan Nation Geek Extravaganza. And our kickoff will feature a radio parody play of Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back. And that will take place at 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. Friday, November 17th in Mancini Hall at the Toms River branch. And it will feature a professional drama group that will be presenting the program, and we'll also have a mock-up for photo use built by our own printing and graphics department at the library of the Cantina Bar and other scenes from Star Wars, so it'll be really cool. And our friends from the 501st Legion, a Star Wars costume club, will be there to also serve as human window dressing. You can have your picture with Darth Vader and behind this backdrop that we'll have.
And so they go all out. I mean, they soup to nuts.
Yeah.
Yes, and they have special specifications for their costumes, like right down to the stitching. So,
wow,
just to look very, very authentic.
Now, some of the times I've heard that even back when you hear interviews with William Shatner and stuff, and you realize that the costumes that are actually brought to these events are better quality than the costumes that were actually used on the show.
Oh yeah, the costumes that are like so uncomfortable, especially for Star Trek: The Motion Picture, that look like pajamas.
Yeah.
But all the cast members were saying, that they were so uncomfortable. At the recent library event that my group, the USS Challenger, hosted, the Star Trek celebration, we had Stephen Lance of Brook Township, but he was an extra in Star Trek: The Motion Picture, and they made him up as an alien. And the costume itself, he could barely breathe and barely sit down. He told us that story while he was on stage for that event.
So there'll be a lot of costumes at this event, not just that group, but fans are invited to come in costume
our
as well.
Next day is the big event.
Okay.
The November 18th, 10 to 4 p.m. at the same location, Toms River Branch, although in this case, the Toms River Branch will be invaded. We'll have sections all over the branch, plus the Bishop Building right next door. We'll have panels and programs and special guest speakers and the whole nine yards. It'll be not just Star Wars, it'll be everything.
So if somebody maybe came out last year, I know that each year you make this bigger and better. And before we started this, just still on the topic of costumes, is there some sort of contesting going on with costumes?
Oh, we bring back our third annual cosplay contest that'll conclude the day with... And I know Teresa will talk about the new feature we have this year. We seem to get more and more cosplayers every year, ranging from topics like anime to TV favorites to, of course, Star Wars and Star Trek and Doctor Who. So.
Yeah, we have 5 categories that they compete individually in the cosplay contest. And then there's a 6th category this year, which is a group cosplay. So they can compete individually and in group.
That's cool. Yeah. I'd love to see somebody come in as SG-1 or as an entire cast from a show. That would be awesome.
The creativity we see in them making the costumes, like most are actually handmade, are just amazing. Last year our big winner one of our big winners came as Hellboy. And the year before, she had created this whole elaborate costume as some kind of a fairy with the wings so big that she she nearly knocked down one of the judges when she accepted the award on her first year. So I can't wait to see what she's going to come, dressed as this year.
And our judges are from All Geek to Me Radio. They're podcasters and radio personalities online, and they go to all the cons. They're going to be doing how to survive a con in and out of cosplay, and then they're going to be able to judge our cosplay contest after.
That's awesome, and the fact that you need that kind of information, how to survive an event like that. I could see that you'd be quite worn down by the end of the weekend and run out of your rations. And so what else can we expect?
We have a horror author coming. His name is Grady Hendrix. He wrote Paperbacks from Hell, so he's going to be going over the paperbacks from the 70s and 80s, like The Exorcist. And then he also wrote My Best Friend's Exorcism. Clearly, I like the dark side. I like the Stranger Things. We're doing a Stranger Things scavenger hunt and Stranger Things meetup, so we're also going to be covering that aspect.
Cool.
We're also going to have escape rooms this year, which I'm really excited about. We have a Harry Potter themed escape room and a Doctor Who themed escape room. So.
I like how even the terminology, escape room, that's so perfect. I go to so many, stuffy business conventions, and they're called breakout rooms, or breakout sessions. But I like that, escape room. That's brilliant. So now, this is, just to recap a little bit, this is taking place the weekend of November 17th and 18th at the library. And is this one of those events that they need to register ahead of time for, right? Or they need to RSVP?
For the kickoff party on the 17th, we're definitely requiring registration. We would prefer people register for Saturday the 18th, but you can just drop in if you want.
Okay, cool. So what am I leaving out here?
All the comics and the drawing. We have Amy Chu. She's a comic writer. She's written for Poison Ivy, Wonder Woman, and she's recently written for Kiss and Red Sonja. She's going to be doing a comic panel. And then we have Philip McNulty. He's going to be doing how to draw your own superhero. He's drawn for X-Men, Deadpool, and he's also worked with William Shatner on something called Man-O-War. Like, he worked directly with Shatner. So he's going to be doing how to design your own superhero. So there's lots of drawing, lots of comics, and the Women in Comics Collective is coming, and they're going to also be selling comics.
Now, in this day and age where, you've got things like Kindles and all these tablets, is there still that demand for the tactile of holding a paper
I
comic?
don't think that'll ever go away.
Okay.
Our mutual friend, Chris Lundy, I saw him the other day with his family at the library, and he just was holding up this stack of graphic novels that we have in our collection in Tom's River, and we have them in every single branch. And I don't think you'll ever get away from that. At least I hope not, because you have to. For comic books, it's such a wonderful visual medium that it's just so much better, in my opinion. But I'm old school, to just have it in your hand and page through it.
Yeah, I think there's a certain level of geek cred to have the stacks and stacks of comics, because I've got every episode, or every issue of whatever comic it is. It's over there in my tablet. It just doesn't have the same effect to say, see that mountain over there?
Yeah.
That is,
So every time my wife says, well, we could reduce space if you just put everything digitally. And I'm like, no. So
I can't make my action figures go digital. I
No,
can take pictures of them,
mine either.
have a photo album, look, there's Captain Picard.
You and I are the same way.
I like digital comics. Like, the library offers Hoopla Digital, and I get all my comics through Hoopla. I read them the day they come out. I can get it on Hoopla, read my Walking Dead. Digital is really, the colors on the tablet are really nice.
But can you print them out?
See, I'm like on the fence either way, because I like reading a book in paper, but I also like being able to take that same book with me wherever I go digitally, and be able to pull up, like Hoopla. Yeah, that's an awesome service that the library offers. And if somebody wants more information on that, the OceanCountyLibrary.org.
It is a wonderful option.
Mm-hmm.
Still prefer holding it, but
I did buy a book the other day, and it was nice to get that book in the mail and open it up and actually flip through the pages. Although, because I hadn't bought a paper book in at least 2 years.
Yeah.
But Anyway, we digress.
We also have our friends from the New York Ghostbusters coming back.
Ooh.
And they're going to provide a program called Slime Time Live. So
Great
that's
program for families.
Yeah.
Kids get to actually make some slime.
Making slime, like from scratch, making slime.
Yep.
And they bring all the gear. They come in full costume with the
Yeah.
packs.
That's awesome.
Slimers
Yeah, they
there.
look fantastic.
Ectoplasm.
My group, the USS Challenger, will be there talking about Star Trek Discovery, which just started about a month ago, and we'll also be talking about another, fan favorite that everybody's talking about, the Orville, which everybody seems to be enjoying. So,
Spoof or serious?
it's a little of both. I think it's a lot more serious than we thought it was going to be. We were really expecting the Orville to be more of a parody, but really it's sort of Star Trek Next Generation light. It's
Well
really
said.
not,
Well said.
It's not really what I expected, but we're all enjoying it for whatever it might be.
So, what else we got cooking?
Well, our anime club will be there.
We're doing panels on Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah. My coworker Dan Fitzgerald, he'll be talking Game of Thrones, and he's really into it, so he'll have a lively conversation.
I think it's interesting how the sci-fi genres have just expanded so much to where, and the way you're covering them all. You got your Stranger Things, you've got your, so we'll say the paranormal type things, and then you've got your sci-fi and spaceships, or the Star, anything with Star in it. And then you've got your comics, your Marvel, DC, and all that going on at the same time, while you've got things that, the movie was a comedy, Ghostbusters, but yet it still falls into what you're doing with this, and I think that's great. You've got something for everybody.
Plus, with all our panels and workshops, there's the official fun stuff. But I know that throughout the course of the day, fans will come together and have their own little side conversations. I mean, Justice League comes out that weekend, and the Thor will either be coming out or just has come out. And so there'll be all these little conversations. People will meet for the first time. They'll compare their costumes, they'll talk about stuff, they'll realize they have so much in common, and that's the whole point behind Fan Nation. It brings together the whole geek community to share their interests, and even Star Trek and Star Wars fans, we like both, and comic book fans, and Marvel, and there is no Marvel and DC, we just love them both.
Right.
So it'll be a nice blending, and that's what it is every year, and why it's been so successful.
Cool.
And we have just a lot of opportunities for people to sit down and play tabletop games, video games. They can participate in crafts. We're going to have somebody making chainmail, somebody making Lord of the Rings miniatures, just different ways you can just sit down with other people and either video games, regular games, crafting, and talk and meet other people that like the same things you do.
And if you get hungry, you can go to the ShopRite program. They're going to do Zelda-themed cooking this year.
Ooh, very cool. And that's cool because we hadn't touched on video gaming too much in this discussion. So so even the gamers have their role in this as well. So anything else gaming wise that is with us, or obviously we get Zelda cooking and
Super Smash Brothers Brawl, like Mario, is always popular. A lot of the teenagers like to come out and play those competitive games, compete against each other. So that we have the Wii and the Wii U.
Oh, very cool.
And we
Family
just got the
games.
Switch, so we're gonna put that out this year.
I'm like, I'm ready to just take the rest of the day off and just
We'll have our green screen, so people who want to come and have their photo taken in some backdrop of their own particular genre. You go away with good memories and a few souvenirs here and there, so
it's kind of like,
and it's free.
What do we need the
free
West Coast for? We got this right here, right here in New Jersey,
and it's free.
And it's free. I mean, that's exactly. That's it doesn't involve a plane ticket or the ticket to the event. This is free. So Fan Nation, it's the Geekstravaganza, returning to the Ocean County Library on November 17th and 18th. Just to recap for our listeners and viewers, this is as we geek out even here at WBNJ, advancing our technology in our brand new studio, some people are now able to see us doing these interviews as opposed to just hearing us do the interviews. So it looks like it's going to be a fantastic event. I love it because it builds up to probably one of the most important dates of the year. And that is my birthday on the 19th. So
okay.
I can just turn this into one big birthday weekend. And any of my friends that know me, I have not been as nerdy as I normally would be because I've been pretty much locked in the studio. Pretty much they just slip food under the door and stuff. And I just stay here in this studio all day long. And just watch reruns of the original series. But I haven't even seen the new Star Trek yet. That's the sad part. So I have a lot to catch up on. You know.
Do. Well, don't feel too bad. I've only seen the first episode, and I know as the head of the local Star Trek club, I'm shamed by that. But I do have the CBS All Access, and my wife and I are just going to binge watch it. One weekend, the rest of it, and we decided to do that because it'd be fun, and also because the Roku didn't work. So that we were forced to do it that way. So we're going to do that. But from all I've heard, it's very good. It's a nice blend of some different storylines that take from the past and some brand new information. So
I like it.
I think you'll enjoy it.
Well, I saw the trailers for it and stuff, so I kind of have a little bit of the gist. I think there's some Klingons involved. Yeah. So
different looking Klingons.
Yes, I saw that.
A lost race of Klingons.
Yes, apparently. So again, it is Fan Nation, the Geek Extravaganza, November 17th and 18th. Now, to go back, they need to register for the kickoff party.
Yes.
Okay, so if they want to register, how do they get in touch?
We have, our phone number is 732-349-6200, and of course, theoceancountylibrary.org is our website, and you can register by visiting our website.
Great. And as we remind our listeners all the time, the oceancountylibrary.org website is chock full of so much stuff. And we talked about Hoopla before. You don't even have to necessarily walk into a library to take advantage of all the services they have. But obviously an event like Fan Nation, you do need to get out of your house and maybe, put on your
costume or at least
not
a t-shirt, or
bring
you don't
the whole
have
family.
To.
Yeah. And again, the
friendly.
costume contest is open to anybody coming in costume, and then you've got the new category of coming as a group as well this year. Well, fantastic. Well, thank you all for coming out, and we all need to be going to Fan Nation and get our geek on at the Ocean County Library.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.